G'day folks, I'm coming at you back with another ZVT replay between our red Zerg Michael Fuble and the blue Terran COL Wombat. I'm assuming this stands for Colonel? So I'm going to call this guy Colonel Wombat, who starts off with a "Hi Michael Fuble." Note that he spelled Fuble wrong. And Michael just going hi. And it's kind of an interesting build so far from the Colonel, with a supply depot in his main base behind the minerals, so not walling off at all. It's very weird in this matchup. Also going for double refinery before barracks. So you can already tell this guy's up to no good. Barracks also going to be behind his mineral line. I wonder what's the motivation for this. Is this just so the Overlord won't be able to scout anything at the front? I'm not really sure. If Michael were to just go for some kind of lane pressure, I think that could just straight up end the game, but of course that's not going to happen. We're seeing a pretty standard opening, going to be rallying drones into the gas, keeping that 16 out of 16 saturation, and of course getting the natural, moving the second Overlord over towards the back of the Terran base. It's going to take a while to get there, however. This is Pride of Alteris, the largest map in the map pool, which generally favors Zerg because they have time to kind of macro up. However, it could also be good for a turtling Terran, and they could, just like hold 3 or 4 bases pretty easily, set up a bunch of tanks and like tech up to, I don't know, battlecruisers, mech or something. And we do see Colonel Wombat going up to factories, just getting a few Marines for now, and then he lifts off the factory to go to the top of the ramp. A very strange build over here, and he starts a starport at the top of the ramp now, and gonna wall off with the barracks. This Overlord pokes in to see all that, but 3 Marines. Is it gonna catch this Overlord? It looks like yes. Oh no! Blah, 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 blah. Poor Overlord, and that's very annoying for the Zerg player, who is now supply block 30 out of 28. Gonna have to start up another Overlord and probably more. Third base gonna be on the way for the Zerg player. He does have a head start on that creep spread, but that Overlord going down does delay him quite significantly. The additional queens a bit delayed. We do see a fusion core coming down for Colonel Wombat, second starport with Tech Lab. So 2 starports with a Tech Lab on them. And keep in mind, Colonel Wombat still on 1 base. Very odd build here out of Colonel Wombat, who is getting that command center in the main base, but 1 base build so far. The fusion core is done, but he doesn't have money for a single battlecruiser yet, let alone 2. So I'm really scratching my head at what this guy is doing. He does have the first battlecruiser starting up, and he's got a single Widow mine at the top of the ramp for defense. Second one pops out. Still only 1 battlecruiser in production. Second one gonna take a while. Overlord floats in, doesn't see a whole lot there. Does spot the second command center, so he does recognize that it is not going to be some crazy 1 base all in, but I don't think he spotted the battlecruiser attack, has he? No, but he spots the tech lab on the starport, so that's gonna be enough to prompt some spore crawlers. He does have a good amount of queens. 7 is the count. And this Ling in position to identify that there is no expansion yet. Now we do see that first battlecruiser coming out. Not gonna be warping across the map just yet. I guess he's waiting for the second one. And that could potentially catch Michael off guard. One battlecruiser I think he's totally fine against with his queens and spores. But 2 showing up at the same time could get a little dicey. Michael's going for a double evolution chamber, getting those early 1-1 upgrades, getting that Baneling nest. And what's going down behind this? Oh, there we do see the 2 battlecruisers warping in. Is Michael prepared for this? Not quite. Gonna lose a bunch of drones right off the bat. Gonna lose a queen there, and the queen's very disjointed, not fighting all together just yet. They are walking back up to group up, so good start for Colonel Wombat. And he does need to find a little bit more damage as he is down 29 to 38 workers. He is gonna pick off that spore, gonna get a few more drones on his way out, but this battlecruiser very low. Is it gonna go down? Yes! Nice pick off there by Michael Fuble. He does get 1 battlecruiser. So 1 battlecruiser for 7 drones, 3 overlords, 3 queens, a spore crawler. Pretty good for Colonel Wombat. Now this battlecruiser sticking in the fight. I don't know about this, getting awfully low, and he doesn't have the teleport ready. Might be going down. Oh, poor control there by Colonel Wombat. He definitely should have pulled that back earlier, and he could have saved it. So now, all in all, not too bad for Michael Fuble. He does lose a lot more minerals, but the gas lost for Colonel Wombat is pretty significant there, 600. And Michael Fuble, he has his lair, he has still a good amount of queens, and he's going to be making some more Zerglings. And behind all this, Colonel Wombat has established his natural base finally. A lot of Widow Mines. There's a certified minefield over here. So there is not really going to be any potential for the Zerg to get any damage done. But doesn't look like he wants to anyways. Maybe he has some Zerglings here, but I think that's more for the defense more than anything. Creep spread pretty good so far. Has been kind of haltered by that battlecruiser pressure. Ping going down over here, not sure why. Maybe just a misclick, sending a Zergling there now. And Michael gonna be going up to a Hydra Den as well as Infestation Pit at the same time. So he did spot all those Widow Mines as he ran something up here. Took that Widow Mine fire. So maybe the Hydra's just a response to that. Hydralisk, of course, outrange Widow Mines. And looks like Colonel Wombat moving out a little bit. Actually, only just securing his 3rd base. So probably not going to be pressing out anytime soon. However, he is burrowing a bunch of Widow Mines here. This siege tank doing a little dance over here. And a siege up. Michael does have his 2-2, about 70% of the way done. He's got his Hydralisk upgrades coming along. And behind this, Colonel Wombat, he is actually going mech. So I don't know if Michael's got a read on that because he is still going melee upgrades. He's going for his Baneling speed. He's got a Lurker Den on the way. And these are not the best units to go up against mech. So Colonel Wombat with an interesting build might be catching Michael with his pants down. A lot of tanks, and this is what I was saying before, you can just turtle up on this map. Large map, very easy to go up to 4 bases, and even 5, 6, not that difficult either. And Colonel Wombat being very safe. He's got missile turrets just randomly. I don't think he scouted anything to prompt that. Just being extra careful for any potential mutas. And we see an early hive coming down. About to be finished, not yet 11 minutes. And what's going to be the hive tech? Might just be for the lurker upgrades. Yeah, he does start both of them at once. Michael's sitting at a pretty comfortable 82 workers. And Colonel Wombat is just continuing to pump out mech units, going for that 4th base, getting a 5th command center even. And Michael flies in with an Overseer, doesn't see a whole lot, but he does see some of these tanks, so maybe that's enough to tell him that it's tanks. I don't know if he saw the double armory, that would be a clear tell. And yeah, he does spot that, goes for the lurkers anyways. 16 more drones on the way. Holy moly, that's going to put him up to 99. That's a lot of drones. I like that actually. There's a lot of bases on this map to take. There's a lot of resources to be mined. He has taken that gold base, almost fully saturated here, and that's going to boost his economy quite significantly. 3-3 on the way, adrenal glands on the way. So upgrades for Michael, very powerful. He already has 2-2. Colonel Wombat only with the +1. So upgrade lead quite significant for the red Zerg player. Colonel Wombat gonna be going up to 5 bases now. He is getting some Thors, so it looks like it's some kind of tank Thor Widowmine composition. Very funky, but pretty interesting. Now Michael getting just about every tech available, going for a Spire, going for an Ultralisk Cavern, getting those Infestor upgrades. I think the only thing we don't see is a Roach Warren. Yeah, and he's on 6 bases himself, looking for a command center cancel here. And it looks like, yeah, definitely gonna get it. Kills that building SCV, and that's pretty brutal. That command center was about 99% done. And oh, it doesn't have burrow just yet, so I'm not gonna be able to burrow that Widowmine there. And he runs in with some Zerglings to take a look at this base, but the tanks gonna be pretty good on the defense. Units lost. More minerals lost for the Zerg, but lots of gas lost for the Terran so far. And we do see Michael with a interesting Lingbane, single Hydra, and Lurker army. But Colonel Wombat unsieging all his tanks, looking like he wants to move out, and this is very scary. Michael Fuble burrowing his lurkers here at the bottom of the ramp. Oh, he's using hold position, and now he fires. Gonna take out almost all the Widowmines, but gonna lose all the lurkers. I don't know if that was worth it. And now he starts up 68 more Lings, 7 Hydras. That's not exactly the composition you want for this. This is a little dicey. Lots of Banelings morphing in. Michael has a lot of money in the bank, but he doesn't really have the right units. 3 lurkers, 3 ultras in production, 2 lurkers. That's not exactly what you need. This is very scary. The Terran is already here on the Zerg side of the map. Michael gonna give up this gold base, evacuating his drone, so at least he saves those. Some Hydras streaming into their deaths, but it looks like Michael's setting up a flank. I don't know about this though. This army from Colonel Wombat, very scary. And Michael's gonna run in. Let's see how it goes. Not the best. These tanks in the back still standing strong. These Ultras, they do have 3-3. They do have chitinous plating, but Ultra's not the best against Thors, to be quite honest. And the reinforcements from Michael gonna be 23 more Hydralisks. I don't know if that's the right choice either, but what else can he make? He does have a Roach Warren. And he has pretty good upgrades. Let's see how this goes. Greater Spire on the way, but these Corruptors kind of useless. And a huge opportunity for Colonel Wombat here, but he is kind of just hanging out. Not really doing a whole lot. Now he sets his sights on this base up here. 36 drones up here. Some Lings spawning to their deaths. And this base looking like it's gonna have to be forfeit. And Michael running out with a couple Ultras, a bunch of Hydras. But is that gonna be enough? I don't think so. Corruptors drawing the Mine Fire. That's about as useful as they're gonna get. But huge supply lead by Colonel Wombat, and he's taken out 3 bases so far. That's the gold, this third base, and this base here. Lots of drones, vulnerable, but they burrow to escape. Okay, they might survive there. And Colonel Wombat not pressing his lead right now, and that's allowing Michael to start 13 lurkers. Bunch of roaches spawning, some Lings on the way. Still a huge bank out of Michael, but not enough larva. He's been spending his larva. Maybe the injects have been lacking. Yeah, these queens, lots of energy on them. He does have this base, which is nice, but still 3 bases against a 5 base Terran. And now Michael trying to break out of this position, cleaning up the remaining tanks and mines, but there's a lot of stuff here. It's going to be a while before Michael can break out. And Colonel Wombat did back up. He is working on his economy, setting up this base up here. Never took this base again. And now Michael gonna move back out, gets a tank there. Doesn't know about these drones, these Widow Mines, which are gonna take out those drones. At least one drone that wanted to build a hatchery there. Big shot from that Widow Mine before it dies. And now Colonel Wombat attacking on the left side. Where is Michael's units? He does have a bunch of lurkers here, and lurkers very powerful on the defense. Colonel Wombat can't exactly push up too easily. He has to inch his tanks up. Now tanks do outrange lurkers, so it's a very delicate dance here. Michael inching up his lurkers, and now he has a much better unit composition. Ling, Bane, Ravager, and I don't know if the lurker is going to be too useful from this point forward, but they do make it difficult for Colonel Wombat to move forward. And all in all, Michael has stabilized very nicely. He still has 81 workers, moves his lurkers up. Once again, now he presses forward with the Ravager. Is going to bile down another tank there. Got to be very patient against Mech. And he moves forward once again, takes out another tank with the biles. And moves up once again with the lurkers. Pretty nice play from Michael, very patient. And now he does bile down the last 2 tanks. Only Thor's remaining, and they're eating a ton of lurker spines. Not going to go down, however. And Michael reestablishing these 2 bases. 40 drones here. And Colonel Wombat rotating back around to the right side of the map and not really taking any additional bases, still on these 5. And looks like maybe he wanted to take this base but got blocked by the Ling, so nice job there. The lurkers in the middle of the map just holding down the fort, I guess. And Michael gonna catch a few more tanks here. So nicely done, but he's not out of the woods just yet, still trailing in army supply, or total supply. And Colonel Wombat gonna be making a move onto this base once again. Does Michael have enough to defend? I'm not sure. Only Roaches and Ravagers here. He is gonna move forward, drop a bunch of Biles, takes out a lot of the Thors actually, burrows his lurkers, and then he runs in with the Ling reinforcements. Nice defense once again, but Colonel Wombat with a few Banshees mixed in, and there's no anti-air from Michael Fuble. A single Broodlord here. Interesting. I guess that was one of the remaining Corruptors. And these Banshees uncontested right now. 3 spores on the way, but looks like this base is gonna go down. Oh no. Colonel Wombat sacrificing 1 Banshee to get that. But I think that's a pretty good trade. And Hydra's gonna clean up that Banshee now. And Michael stabilizing once again, but it is very scrappy so far. And looks like Colonel Wombat wasn't really mining off of this base. Interesting. So a bit of a slip up there on his macro. Yeah, a lot of these mineral patches still very full. Colonel Wombat moving out once again onto the left side. He is relentless with his pressure, but Michael Fuble unwavering in his defense. He has repelled all these attacks. He's taken damage, sure, but he is still alive. He's still got 69 workers. Nice. And Colonel Wombat gonna have to force a cancel on this base. Oh, no cancel. That was a kill, so 300 minerals down the drain. And Michael Fuble trying to set up his next defense here. Look at this Widow Mine burrowed into this glass panel here. Colonel Wombat moving forward, gonna finally clean up these lurkers. And not the best engagement from Michael Fuble, was catching some of these reinforcements, which is nice, sure. And these tanks gonna go down to the Ling and Ravager, so nicely done once again by Michael, cleans it all up. Now both players on 69 workers, very nice. The Hydra's gonna deal with the Banshees. Michael Fuble now taking a supply lead for the first time in forever, and he's reestablishing these bases. He's got that gold once again. He has this, what is it, 6th or 7th base over here. This base is up and running. This one is up and running. So he has stabilized very nicely. He's got all the tech he could ever dream of. He's got Greater Spire, Ultralisk Cavern, Lurker Den, Roach Swarm, so anything he wants he can get. But it looks like it's just going to be Ling Bane, Roach Ravager with a smattering of Hydralisks. And that's a fine composition, to be quite honest. Gonna get that siege tank over there. Gonna go for this planetary, dropping the Biles, gonna get a lot of SCVs, and oh, very nice pickup there by Michael Fuble, cleaning up this location. And looks like Colonel Wombat did finally clean up that burrowed Ling over there. He is making another move, gonna clear up these rocks. Michael gonna be forced to be on the defensive once again, but I'm liking his army a lot more now. And he He is going for a surround, maybe? No, goes for just one angle. I thought he was going to wrap around, but he does have more than enough to deal with this, I think. Raining down the Biles, the Lings, Banes, Roaches, Ravagers just crashing into this mech. And gonna clean up this army by Colonel Wombat. We see Michael Fuble with a massive supply lead now, despite the Colonel's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases. And Michael Fuble definitely showing his resiliency in this game. This has been wild. I thought he was dead from the initial push, but he has brought himself back. And Colonel Wombat, he is very starved for gas right now. He's got a lot of minerals, but his gas is pretty much dried up. This is the only base mining gas. This one has gas, but they are almost out. Look at that, 42 remaining, 42 remaining. And Michael gonna burrow a Ling here to deny this location. And Michael's maxed out. But lots of tanks set up defensively by Colonel Wombat. Like I said, it's very easy to just turtle up. So it's gonna be quite difficult to break this position. Can Michael do it? Ling with the same idea as the Widowmine there. Hold that thought, Michael running into a lot of tanks. Is he going to be able to clean this up? He doesn't get the planetary. The repair by Colonel Wombat is good. But Michael just remaxing. He's still on 69 workers. And Colonel Wombat down to 37. Is still producing Banshees. That's pretty nice, as Michael's anti-air not that great. Only 3 Hydras. He does have a few Infestors with a lot of energy on them. So there's potential for some neural parasites, maybe fungals. And Colonel Wombat doesn't really have the money to make a whole lot other than Hellbats. And that's what he's making, 6 Hellbats at a time, single Viking, not sure why. But Colonel Wombat desperately needs more bases. Michael Fuble kind of dropping the ball on his upgrades there. Not getting the additional ranged upgrades, but he has reestablished additional bases. He's got this one up and running. This base coming online. And respreading that creep, finally. Dropping some new tumors here. Lots of energy on these queens, so maybe hasn't really been on top of his injects, but he does have a lot of larvae to spare. 69 larvae, nice! Look at this, 69, 69, 69, oh wow. And Michael now going for this, what is this, 4th base? He is absolutely gonna get this planetary. And these Banelings just decimating the SCV line. And he's just gonna back up and clear up some of these rocks. And the game is in Michael's hand right now. Colonel Wombat has been really pushed back. He is moving out now with a lot of Hellbats, but that's about it. 4 tanks, not that scary. The 2 Banshees, not that scary. He's going to clear up that burrowed Zergling there. Michael Fuble looks like he wants to fight there, though. Running across with his entire army. Lots of Lings, Banes. But I don't know about this fight. Yeah, that's a lot of Hellbats. You really want your Banelings for that. 58 more Lings on the way. There we go. The +2 ranged on the way. And Michael says, alright, if your tanks are all there, I'll just attack here where they are not. And these Banelings, that's what you need for these Hellbats. They are gonna just explode all over them. The funnel actually working in Wombat's favor there. But does it matter? There's just not enough for Colonel Wombat. He's gonna lose all these Hellbats, it looks like, to the Roaches and Ravagers. Some additional Banelings being morphed in. We do see Michael with 180 supplied to Colonel Wombat's 63. Michael gonna continue the onslaught. The Roaches, the Ravagers, these Banelings, they don't know what to hit. There's just no Terran ground units remaining. Colonel Wombat, he does have a few reinforcements down here, but he has been beaten and battered and bruised. These Infestors still not coming into play, but I'm not sure Michael even needs them as these Lings clean up this location. This refinery, curiously enough, has survived this long. More Zerglings in production, and this is all Michael needs, just Roaches, Ravagers, and a bunch of Lingbane. Looks like he is moving on out once again. Some Zerglings being annoying in the natural base, and it looks like this might be Colonel Wombat's last hurrah. Michael Fuble gonna be setting up a pincer move, running in with his Lings, his Banes, his Roaches, his Ravagers. He is gonna drop Biles. He is gonna clean up all these tanks, and he is gonna unburrow his Infestors. They still haven't spent a lick of their energy. And not really sure what you can really use them on. I mean, there's not much Terran remaining, so maybe he didn't need them in the end. But it does look like this is the end, dropping Biles to take out that one last... Wait, doesn't get that last tank. Okay. And Michael producing some Corruptors now to deal with this air force of Colonel Wombat. But I think he could just A-move in and end the game, but Michael showing a lot of respect to his opponent. But Colonel Wombat is D-E-D dead. Michael Fuble with a very nice play, stabilizing after that early loss, losing 3 bases to that attack. But he has clawed his way back, and he is firmly in the lead. He's got this game in the bag, and I do think he can just stroll on in and end it. I think he's just waiting for his reinforcements and should be going any time now. And looks like Colonel Wombat dropping some cheese sprays over there. And in comes Michael Fuble, running in with all his units. And this is gonna be the end, folks. Unburrowing his Infestors, finally using them, dropping some fungal growths. Gonna clean up the rest of the Terran army. And that is gonna be it. Colonel Wombat gonna have to tap out any second now. There we go. GG. And Michael Fuble with a very hard fought victory.